This is Steve Kerr, and you're listening to the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game.
Steve, I think USA is playing. Hey, can you guys change the channel?
Keep this up. This is my dad's favorite rap song
I think
ever.
it's playing soon.
You know that?
Yeah, I know. I remember the drop top going down to L.A.
Yeah.
He loved it.
He loves this song.
It is a hard song. With who's the pimp? Bishop Don Juan? Bishop Don Juan? He had him in the video with Snoop. The big ass
this
rings.
beat does hit.
What's up with pimps with the big rings?
I don't get rings. I don't even wear my wedding ring, so I'm
well,
probably the wrong person to be talking to.
Yeah, well, if I ever get one, that ain't gonna be the case for me. Better have that baby
You're gonna
on.
be like Sam Darnold, or not Sam Darnold, Sam Bradford. You're gonna wear the. Or I don't know. It was
No, Kirk Cousins.
No, who was the guy?
Kirk Cousins wears a wedding
Andy
ring.
Dalton wore the rubber one.
I think Kirk Cousins does too.
Or the rubber one every day. They're nice. If you work out, especially, because you don't feel it at all.
Even when you play sports?
Yeah, because it just stays. You don't even notice it. You don't even feel it. They're very thin.
I don't like jewelry and all that stuff.
As I pop my chains.
Just me.
As I pop my chains. What a fun show. By the way, we forgot to do this. We got to remind everybody that on 9/11, it's going to be a lot of fun at TPC Harding. That's right, 9/11. As I pull up that read, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at?
You got to freestyle a little flip.
Where you at? I just don't even. I don't want to butcher the names.
Are you a sausage guy?
September 11th. Join 95.7 The Game
He's
at the Pettinelli Financial Partners Charity Golf Tournament at Hardy Park. All proceeds benefit the Autism Society SF Bay Area. There will be a $10,000 hole-in-one contest, an auction with some great memorabilia, and a chance to hit some balls at the iconic TPC Hardy Park with some of us from 95.7 The Game. Learn more at sfautismsociety.org. You know this is a Friday show because the boss man ain't in, and we're off the rails. We're off the rails. What do you, honestly, 888-957-9570. We're going to get War Moon out in a second. What the hell do you want us to break down for this preseason game?
Offensive line play.
It's all about the quarterback. How is Brock, Sam, and Trey going to look? That's all I care about. And wait. The nickel quarterback too.
I thought you wanted to maybe break down the platoon situation for the Giants today.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
They started, I think, 4 or 5 o'clock. They get to play the Braves.
Oh, my gosh.
This is a measuring stick series.
Oh, my gosh. Oh.
Let's break that down.
Are you sure you want to break down the Braves? I could break down Matt Olson, Acuna, Albies, Murphy. They got dudes at AAA ranking.
Before we get to Warren Moon, Warriors schedule that you released. If you could win one game, and you know today, that's the game that you want in the regular season. Mm-hmm. I know how devalued the regular season is. But for you, Bonte Hill, knowing how much you love the Warriors.
Yes.
What's the one game that you want to win more than any other on that schedule? Not that it means anything toward their championship,
I need that Friday night game number 2 up in Sacramento. I need to win that game.
Oh, it's for you now.
One. Yeah, I need to win that game. We need that game. That's the one. War Moon. Dude, War Moon he could play all sports, man. War Moon, one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. Threw for nearly 50,000 yards in the NFL. We all love that number 1. But he had to start off in the CFL for unfortunate reasons. After going to Washington, going to the Rose Bowl, he had to start off, and he won a lot of Grey Cups. He did. War Moon on the Morning Roast right now on 95.7 The Game, an NFL Hall of Famer, 5-time Grey Cup champion, undrafted in 1978 for who knows what, but then played for the Edmonton Eskimos, goes to the Houston Oilers, Vikings, Seahawks, and Chiefs, and he had a great NFL career. We're going to bring War Moon on. Good morning, Ward. Thanks for spending some time with us, man. One of my favorite quarterbacks of all time, man. Nobody threw a tighter spiral, in my opinion. How you doing today? Oh, we got Ward? Don't have Ward yet. We'll get him on. Damn, just blew that good intro, right? We just blew off if we could get him for greatest intro, man. War Moon. What do you remember about War Moon?
What don't I remember? I mean, he was ridiculous. Obviously, just the ability to throw the ball down the field with the Minnesota Vikings as an older man in his life. I loved that Viking team, especially because it was the advent of video games and Blitz, and just playing with Warren Moon was just one of those seminal things that you remember from your childhood. That team was ridiculous.
When the run and shoot team with the Houston Oilers, they going 4 wide, 3 wide out there. The Powder Blues in the Astrodome.
They're bringing those back this year?
They are bringing it. The Houston Texans got to do something to get those uniforms, man. They have to. Don't they?
Yeah.
Don't they? Come on. The Texans, come on. Let's go. As we talk quarterbacks here, 888-957-9570. And, another reason why we're bringing War Moon on, I'm going to float an idea about Trey Lance. And I don't want to send Trey Lance to the CFL. I want Trey Lance to thrive in the NFL. But if he can't play in the NFL, he's not playing, why not go get reps up in Canada? But let's bring back War Moon, NFL Hall of Famer, 5-time Grey Cup champion, one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time, at Warren Moon 1 on Twitter. Warren, good morning, man. Thanks so much for joining us here at 95.7 The Game. Joe Shatzky, Butcher, Vontae Hill.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. How you doing this morning?
We're doing great. Football is on the horizon. We got preseason games. We know that, but we know it's coming. September 10th, week 1 of the season, obviously kicks off September 7th with the Lions and Kansas City Chiefs. But we're talking quarterbacks here. And yesterday, Warren, I floated that idea out. And I don't think it's going to happen, nor do I think it should happen. However, Trey Lance hasn't gotten a lot of reps. And a lot of people are coming down this road. The kid just hasn't played a lot of football. And I don't know if he makes the Niners roster or not. And what if he moves on and he goes to Arizona or one of these downtrodden franchises to where you're not set up for success? He possibly could be out the league. So I floated something saying, you know what? What if he went up to the CFL for a couple years, worked on his skills in the pocket, passed a little bit, and just got some playing time? I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world. Now, it's a crazy idea, but I'm just trying to be open-minded here because Trey Lance hasn't played a lot of football, Warren.
Well, I know what you're saying, but that goes back to that old adage of, if a quarterback isn't ready, you're not going to play him in this league. You're going to try and ship him off somewhere else. Trey Lance is a guy that hasn't played a lot of college football. All he needs to do is learn and play as much as he possibly can. Where that's going to happen, we don't know going forward because of the quarterback position at San Francisco. Brock Purdy has come in and kind of taken over that position for right now. But Trey Lance is going to be able to play in this league. You don't trade up to get a guy like this that has these type of athletic skills and the things that he does, show at certain times throughout practice. He definitely got the ability to play the position. He just needs a little bit more time. And there's some guys that can come into this league and play and perform at a high level very early, and there's some guys that need more development time. He just needs more development time, but that doesn't mean you need to ship him off to another league.
Yeah. When you watch Patrick Mahomes, it's pretty obvious the guy can do so many things on the field. I mean, it pops to everyone. And some people are looking at arm talent. Some people can see guys run. You can see the pocket presence, but I think it's much harder to assess for those that never played, especially at a high level like you did. What do you look at when you watch quarterbacks? Like what are you looking for? Are there skills? Is it like where the face mask is looking? Is it how the ball's delivered? What are you looking for when you're just evaluating any quarterback?
Well, there's a number of things you look at. You look at their feet, what type of footwork that they have, because that's a very important part of playing the position. You look at what type of athleticism they have as far as being able to move around and create things. You look at their throwing motion and their follow through, how accurate they are. And I think accuracy is probably one of the most important things you look at, especially nowadays. The way the passing game is involved in football today, you've got to be accurate throwing the football, and you got to throw at a high percentage in order to keep the chains moving. So those are some of the things you look at physically, but then it's hard for me to look inside somebody's brain. It's all hard for me to look in somebody's heart to know exactly what they're made of. And those things don't really come out until you actually see them play on the field with the decision-making that they make, how they come back from any type of adversity, and just how tough they are as a person.
I do want to ask this, Warren, because I'm not in the NFL locker room, and we didn't play in the NFL. You did. You played at the highest levels. Can a player get better by just watching? Because when Trey Lance hasn't played a lot of football, as you mentioned, since 2019. He just doesn't have the reps, and he needs the reps. And the Niners are going to win now most, so they're trying to play Brock Purdy because they feel like he gives us the best chance to win. Can the player get better by just being on the scout team or holding the clipboard?
I think you can. You'd much rather want to play in a game and go through game-type situations. Of course, that's going to make you better as a player,
right.
But it's also going to make you, sometimes maybe fail as well if you're not ready to play. look at Aaron Rodgers right now. He's a 4-time MVP. He sat behind Brett Favre for 3 years.
No doubt.
Developing and watching and learning before he got a chance to get on the field. And I'm sure I can name a lot of other quarterbacks because that's the way the quarterback position used to be. It was a position where you drafted a guy, you let him sit behind the veteran and learn and watch, and then you gave him his opportunity when his opportunity arose. Now that doesn't happen anymore because guys are asked to play much earlier in their careers when they're drafted that high, and it's sometimes a detriment, but sometimes if you look at a Joe Burrow or somebody like that who comes in and plays right away and is successful, then you're saying it can't happen. Or Patrick Mahomes the same way, and he even sat a year before he played. So I think there is some value to that, sitting behind a veteran and learning, especially if you haven't played a lot of college football. You might need to at least learn and play as much as you possibly can during the preseason.
What frustrates you the most when you just hear other people talk about quarterbacks? Is it we're too quick to crown them? Is it we're too quick to bury them? Is it something that we misdiagnose in what to look for? What's the thing that frustrates you the most about how maybe the media and the country talks about quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think playing professional quarterback in the National Football League is the most difficult position to play in all of sports. Not just team sports, but in all of sports because of what you're asked to do and under the conditions you're asked to do it. So it really irks me when people make up their minds really quickly on a quarterback. If he has a little bit of success early, that he's going to be great, or if he doesn't have success early, that he's a bust. So those are the things that really bother me. They don't have patience with quarterbacks, a position that sometimes, takes a little bit more time than others, especially depending on that particular quarterback's makeup, as far as his personality, his confidence level, all those different things. They all play a part. Some guys mature faster than others. Some guys pick up offenses faster than others. All those different things go into it. So you have to give these guys a chance and some time before you make a decision on whether they can't play or not.
Yeah, no, I think that's really fair. What did you make of Brock Purdy?
I really like Brock, and I think one of the things that played in his favor is he played a lot of college football. He played a lot of games, and he was very successful in those games. I watched him play a ton in college, and I wondered why he went so low in the draft. But he did have a lot of experience, especially in big games against, big-time competition in the Big 12. So it didn't really surprise me that much when he came to San Francisco that, Shanahan was able to devise an offense that took advantage of what he did best. And with the experience that he had, the game and the situation wasn't too big for him. So I think that's one of the reasons why he had success so early is because he did have a lot of experience, and he didn't let the enormity of the NFL overwhelm him, kind of like what has happened with Trey Lance.
Warren, you touched on how quarterbacks, a lot of people are quick to judge a quarterback after 4 starts or 5 starts or 6 starts or 8 starts. It's a hard position. We agree it's the hardest position to play in North American sports. But it feels like it's ratcheted up for the black quarterback. And me being a brother, I love watching you play. I love watching Randall Cunningham. I love seeing Michael Vick get a shot, Donovan McNabb, so on and so forth. Has it gotten better for black quarterbacks in this league? Are we more receptive to having black quarterbacks and being more patient to them? What do you think about that, Warren, from sitting from afar?
That the African American quarterback is striving in the league right now. I think going in, it'd be 14 African American quarterbacks starting for their teams this year. The 3 rookies that are coming in are going to all start. So there's no question that the position has changed from that aspect. I think the position has changed with the type of player that you're looking for at that position now. He's got to be a multi-talented type of guy. He can't just sit in the pocket and throw the ball. He's got to be able to move and create and do some of those things, and I think that plays well into the African-American quarterback as well. But I think that's for any quarterback. They all have to be able to move and do some things with their legs now because defenses are getting so much faster and so much stronger. You got to make some plays with your feet, on your own, and with your arm. So I'm really excited about where African American quarterbacks are right now, and it's something that I'm proud of because we went through a lot of tough times before we finally got to this point.
No, you went through some tough times being undrafted in 1978. We all wonder why. Of course, you're a 5-time Grey Cup champ. So, how did the CFL help you for the NFL? How did it help your game? What did the CFL do for you that had you so prepared by the time you got to Houston, Texas?
You know, the big thing it did for me.
Put him on hold. Oh, man. See if we get Warren back on because I want to hear that answer. I do. Titus Spiral. What are the Titus Spirals? Him, Dan Marino. Oh, my God.
Who reminds you of Warren Moon in the modern day?
There it is. So go ahead, finish up that answer. Then we got another one for you, Warren, before we let you go.
Yeah, I think it just allowed me to play. It allowed me to play in situations, whether it was 2-minute drills, whether it was short yardage, whether it was closing out football games, third downs, whatever it might be. You just get a chance. The more you do those things, the better you get at them. So getting a chance to play was one of the things that it helped me with. And then it really helped me develop my drop back game. I was more of a rollout, play-action type passer in college. I got to really improve on my drop-back game up in Canada, which made me a much more versatile quarterback when I came to the NFL.
Who's the guy right now in the game who reminds you of yourself? Or, you're like, hey, yeah, that's who I envisioned myself to be in the modern game. Who's that guy?
Well, I'd love to say all the top quarterbacks in the league remind me of myself, whether it's Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or you name it. But I think somebody that kind of fits my description is a guy that wasn't drafted very high. He's kind of risen up through the people didn't expect a whole lot from him. Dak Prescott, when he came out of college as a fourth-round draft pick, he wasn't the polished passer that he's become now. He's really worked hard at it, and that's something I did when I came into the league as well. I worked hard at being a much more accurate passer and just learning, like I said, the drop-back game a little bit more and develop myself into a very good passer of the football and a very good decision-maker.
Well, I'm watching all these 7-on-7 flag footballs and two-hand touch leagues that are out there for all these kids. It is kind of crazy how developed these guys come into the game now. I'm looking at this kid at USC, Caleb, and it just feels like he's thrown so many passes compared to just a generation prior. It is kind of crazy for somebody like yourself who came up in the 70s to see how sophisticated football has become at this point. It's pretty wild, isn't it, for the quarterback position?
It really is. It's really evolved, and I like to say I had a little bit to do with that, with running in the run and shoot offense when I was in Houston for all those years. Because if you look at what offenses are doing now in the NFL, they're spreading everything out. They're throwing the ball all over the lot. They're running a lot of the same type of route combinations we ran in the run and shoot. They're throwing a lot of back shoulder throws, all those different things we were doing back in 1990, where they thought it was all a gimmick at that time, but now everybody's doing these things. I think the biggest difference is you have these tight ends now who are more hybrid, that you can have a tight end on the field at all times, but he almost acts like a wide receiver, where we didn't have any tight ends on our roster. So that's the biggest difference. But as far as the way the ball is being thrown around, these kids are doing it now in junior high school in these 7-on-7 camps, and they're going year after year after year throwing the football. And by the time they get to college and by the time they get to the pros, like you said, they've had so many snaps and have seen so many different coverages that they're much more prepared to come into the pro game than they've ever been.
Man, what we do to watch you, John Elway, Dan Marino, Boomer, all those guys in the 80s and 90s play today's game would have been a lot of fun. Warren, we thank you so much for the time.
Don't tell Phil Sims we said that.
Yeah, don't tell Phil we said that.
Phil already thinks he can still play in the NFL.
Phil thinks he's the best thing ever since sliced bread. We'll get Phil on soon.
Well, thanks a lot for having me on, guys. And you guys enjoy the football season. Hopefully I'll talk to you down the road.
You too.
Absolutely, Warren. Take care, man.
Thank
Warren
you for your
Moon,
time.
Hall of Famer, CFL Hall of Famer, 5-time Grey Cup champ, undrafted in 1978. Now, one thing